Big news coming in from Telangana, where the police have filed a closure report in the sensational Rohit Vemula suicide case of 2016. Rohit Vemula case had taken the country by storm about 8 years ago. Rahul Gandhi and several political leaders and activists had raised the Vemula suicide case. The Telangana police have concluded that Vemula died by suicide, fearing certain facts about his caste and caste certificate emerging. Rohit Vemula feared facts about his caste certificate would be made public and that he could lose some of the privileges that he was getting in terms of education and certificates that he aspired to get. Rohit Vemula's mother had arranged a caste certificate for him, according to the Telangana police, and Rohit Vemula, according to police investigations, feared that he may be prosecuted for a caste certificate. Of course, Rohit Vemula's brother, his family members have countered the police closure report. In fact, they've sought a meeting with the Chief Minister Revant Reddy. Let me get you much more on this big story in this report before I get you more from our reporters on ground.
Nationwide protests that exploded in the wake of a college student's campus death. PhD scholar Rohit Vemula, his suicide sparked a wave of anger over discrimination against Dalits in India's universities. The issue crafted an aggressive Congress and protest groups as an example of agony of scheduled castes, with Rahul Gandhi making it a sustained campaign for months, even years.
वायदों का जाल बिछाया मोदी जी ने, मैं ये करूंगा वो करूंगा और फिर सवाल उठने लगे। पहला सवाल रोहित वेमुला ने पूछा, मेरी क्या गलती है? मैं दलित हूं, इसलिए मुझे क्यों मारा जा रहा है? मुझे क्यों कुचला जा रहा है? मुझे क्यों दबाया जा रहा है? यही सवाल पूछा उसने। क्या मेरे लिए हिंदुस्तान में भविष्य नहीं होना चाहिए? और आप लोग क्या करते हो? हिंदुस्तान की सरकार की शक्ति उसके कंधों पे ऐसे दबा देते हो। उसको आपने दबाया और बेचारे ने आत्महत्या कर दी। सवाल ये है कि हिंदुस्तान के एक युवा की जिंदगी को ऐसे खत्म क्यों किया गया?
But now, over 8 years later, an overwhelming twist. The Telangana police, administered by a Congress government, has filed a closure report in the Rohit Vemula case and stunningly declared that Vemula was not a Dalit and that his suicide was driven by the fear of his true caste being discovered. The report comes as a major break for several prominent figures, including then HRD Minister Smriti Irani, who was in the eye of the storm, as well as Sikandrabad MP Bandaru Dattatreya and others, including a former MLC.
मैं उनके जाति के मामले में नहीं जाना चाहता हूं। मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं कि ये सारा जो हादसा हुआ है, एक ब्राइट स्टूडेंट अपनी खुदकुशी की है और वो ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था। ये बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात है। इसको जो है बहुत ज़्यादा उछाला गया है, जो सच्चाई से दूर जाकर इसको राजनीतिकरण किया गया था इस मुद्दे को, और उस पर जाकर हम जैसे लोगों को उसमें एक अभियुक्त बनाया गया।
The BJP, which had come under attack, has also used the closure report to hit out at the Congress.
Although the said episode is sad and Mr. Vemula ought to have gotten whatever justice that he wanted, but then the fact remains that the victim mentality of this entire Dalit movement should gradually dissipate, and this is with the greatest of respect to all castes and communities of India.
The closure report puts the Congress party in a spot over an issue it had made a calling card 8 years ago. In the report, the Telangana police note that Rohit Vemula was aware that he did not belong to a scheduled caste and that his mother got him an SC certificate, and that it was fear of exposure of this fake certificate damaging his academics that drove him to take the extreme step. Vemula's family, which had campaigned for justice, has expressed shock over the closure report.
I just want to say that it is not the police job to finalize the caste status of Rohit Vemula or any other person.
Okay.
What their job is to investigate why he committed suicide.
The Vemula family has legal options and could approach a lower court next to protest. With Abdul Bashir, Bureau Report, India Today.
And for more on the story, I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Shiv Arur. Shiv, Rahul Gandhi had called Rohit Vemula a symbol of resistance and said he continues to inspire Rahul Gandhi, or that he was his hero, or words to that effect. Here, in a Congress-ruled state, Telangana police have said Vemula, there were issues with his certification. His mother had procured a caste certificate and he feared some details would be made public. What else does this report say? And Shiv, what are the implications?
Gaurav, given the enormous amount of political and media attention that this story got in 2016, the manner in which Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party had made this, a huge, justifiably a huge issue about discrimination against Dalits on campuses in the country, the closure report that's been filed by the Telangana police today is enormous. It's stupefying at one level. And not just the fact that it's a closure report, but what the Telangana police has said. First of all, remember that the Telangana police is under a Congress government now. And the Congress had made this its big calling card, one of the first big issues it had raised in the first Modi government in 2016. Rahul Gandhi had led it. He had spoken about it in Parliament as well. But the suicide of Rohit Vemula the Telangana police in its closure report now says it was because of a fear of being found out that he was not a Dalit and allegedly that the caste certificate that he had procured via his mother was actually false. This is literally what the Telangana police is saying. It takes a story that had captured the national political energy and attention of that time and completely turns it on its head and seems to negate it, saying that Rohit Vemula was not a Dalit, he had a fake certificate and he had procured it somehow, and it was the fear of being found out that had added to his other worries and stress, leading to his decision to take that extreme and very, very tragic, unfortunate step. The fact, however, is that it is totally understandable that the family of Rohit Vemula is shocked. They're completely traumatized by this report, and they've said that how can the police comment on someone's, caste identity, and that's why they've decided to approach the Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy to seek some kind of a recourse. Also remember that they have other legal recourse. They can file a protest petition in a lower court, but we're still waiting to hear what that does. For Smriti Irani, Bandaru Dattatreya, Smriti Irani was the HRD minister at that time, and several others, this is most definitely some kind of a relief. But for the Congress party, for a party that had made it such a big issue, had made it their calling card in a very big way, in a sustained manner. Rahul Gandhi remembers Rohit Vemula's death anniversary every single year on social media. It's a bit of a sticky wicket for them now.
Okay. Shiv and my colleague and our colleague Abdul Bashir will continue to track the story very, very closely. The family, of course, say this is their fight for justice that will continue, and they're seeking an appointment with Revanth Reddy, the Chief Minister. We'll get you more on that story. But for the moment, I want to shift focus to the other story we're tracking here on India Today. From Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to top BJP leaders, the Bharatiya Janata Party has launched a direct attack on the Congress Party and Rahul Gandhi after a former Pakistani minister tweeted about Rahul Gandhi's election campaign. Now, Fawad Hussain Chaudhry is a former Pakistan information minister. He's been since saying words to the effect that Pakistan, or people in Pakistan, want Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lose elections and Rahul Gandhi to win. In fact, in his latest post, he's written words to the effect that they want Smriti Irani to lose Amethi. Rahul Gandhi, meanwhile, has accused the BJP of being desperate and making Pakistan an issue in these elections.
यहाँ कांग्रेस मर रही है और वहाँ पाकिस्तान रो रहा है.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the charge attacking Congress party after former Pakistan Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry took to social media platform X to post that Rahul Gandhi is on a roll.
आपको पता चला होगा कांग्रेस के लिए अब पाकिस्तानी नेता दुआ कर रहे हैं. शहजादे को प्रधानमंत्री बनाने के लिए पाकिस्तान उतावला है. पाकिस्तान और कांग्रेस की ये पार्टनरशिप अब पूरी तरह एक्सपोज हो गई है.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also targeted the Congress for the alleged support from across the border from a state sponsor of terror, Pakistan.
पुलवामा की घटना का समर्थन करता है वह व्यक्ति राहुल गांधी को सपोर्ट कर रहा हो, राहुल गांधी को लेकर के प्रफुल्लित हो रहा हो, ये चीजें दिखाती हैं कि कांग्रेस का हाथ देश के दुश्मनों का साथ.
And then the Congress was in line of fire from Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma to Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
पाकिस्तान में राहुल गांधी बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलर है और पाकिस्तान में अगर चुनाव होता है और राहुल गांधी चुनाव में खड़ा होता है तो राहुल गांधी बहुत ज्यादा वोट से जीतेगा, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है.
Why should we be surprised when the Pakistanis who across the border are waging war and are causing hundreds and thousands of lives to be lost due to terrorism from that country endorses Rahul Gandhi? This is Rahul Gandhi's constituency. Rahul Gandhi's support is based on his politics of appeasement.
Rahul Gandhi hits back, saying talking about Pakistan shows BJP's desperation after 2 phases of elections.
कभी नरेंद्र मोदी कभी पाकिस्तान की बात करेगा, कभी समुंदर के नीचे जाके मतलब ड्रामा करेगा.
Congress party spokesperson were quick to counter-attack, saying in his 10 years in office, Dr. Manmohan Singh never once went to Pakistan despite being born there, and Narendra Modi landed in Lahore uninvited.
जो बयान आया है वो नवाज शरीफ उनके भाई की गवर्नमेंट के दबाव में आया है. प्रधानमंत्री के नवाज शरीफ के साथ बहुत अच्छे रिश्ते हैं और इसीलिए ये बयान आया है ताकि इस बयान को हमारे प्रधानमंत्री एक्सप्लॉइट करने की कोशिश कर सके.
आज विषयांतर नहीं होने देंगे. भारत पाकिस्तान, हिंदू मुसलमान, मंदिर मस्जिद चुनाव का मुद्दा नहीं है. चुनाव का मुद्दा भय, भूख, भ्रष्टाचार, बेरोजगारी है, इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड है.
After 2 phases of elections, the attacks and the counter-attacks are only getting shriller and more intense. Bureau Report, India Today.
Congress is dying, Pakistan is crying, says the Prime Minister. BJP is desperate bringing in Pakistan in these elections, says Rahul Gandhi. So is it desperation or something far more sinister that is being highlighted? Joining me on the special broadcast, Charu Pragya represents the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tehseen Poonawala is an analyst and a Congress party supporter. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is a senior research fellow at the Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies. Charu Pragya, explain these repeated references to Pakistan by the Prime Minister, by UP Chief Minister, by Union Ministers, by BJP leaders. Why and how is Pakistan relevant in domestic general elections, ma'am?
It's not about Pakistan being relevant in our elections, Gaurav. The point here is that who is furthering the agenda of Pakistan in our country? Let me draw a very simple comparison here. During the time when UPA was in power, my country unfortunately suffered with bomb blast after bomb blast. My country unfortunately suffered with cross-border terrorism nobody thought to put a stop to. What was the action of my government? They would write letters. There was paper pushing after incidents which took the lives of hundreds of Indians, injured thousands of Indians, and all the Congress government could do was write letters. Now compare it to the India today. India which has zero tolerance for terrorism, India which is a strong power not just within India by itself, but even on the international platform, and India which responds to Uri, which responds to Pulwama, and it does not talk to a country which talks about terrorism.
Okay.
That is why Pakistan wants to push the agenda through a political leader that suits them, which happens to be Rahul Gandhi. Who is the Pakistani parliament applauding for? Rahul Gandhi. What does Manishankar Aiyar say when he visits Pakistan?
Ma'am, that's a very grave charge that you level. I'll come to Manishankar Aiyar in just a moment, but let me bring in Tehseen Poonawalla to respond.
No, give me 10 more seconds, and then we will allow Tehseen to speak. Now, the important thing to remember here, Gaurav, is that look at the Congress manifesto. It is exactly the agenda of Pakistan which is being forwarded. They say, CAA, we don't want it. Pakistan wants the same thing. Article 370 is going to be cancelled. The abrogation is going to be cancelled. Pakistan wants the same thing. The India Alliance talks about dismantling India's nuclear weapons. Pakistan's agenda again. Now tell me,
respond Tehseen Poonawalla. Respond quickly, sir, because the BJP alleges Pakistan a radical Islamist terror state and it's carrying out influence operations in India, and Congress is furthering Pakistan's agenda. Is the BJP charge, sir?
I gave Charu 10 seconds more. I was hoping finally she will come up with at least one punch. It turned out to be a damn squib as the BJP's election campaign. So look, Charu is a very dear friend. She's read the Congress manifesto, something I've had a hand in preparing. Can Charu tell me which page it says that Article 370, which has been removed, will be re-put in? If you can just say which page? In the Congress manifesto.
Page number 22. Now, Tehseen, listen to me. Since you're
it doesn't say 370 will be put back.
You're asking me the question.
No, it doesn't. Where does it?
I'll request you to interject. He asked me a very direct question. I have read the Congress manifesto and I'm replying to this. Page number 22 actually talks about reversing anti-people laws. Anti-people laws. You don't have the name anti-people laws by name. What anti-people law are you going to take back? Congress leaders have talked about bringing back Article 370. Name one anti-people law.
Gaurav. Come on, Gaurav.
Okay.
I mean, Gaurav.
Ma'am, you made your point, sir. You sought a response from her. She's responded. Tehseen Poonawalla, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Gaurav, your viewers saw my very specific charge was, where is it said 370 put back? She said, you remove anti-people laws. So it was removing Article 370 anti-people. Charu, come on.
Okay. Ma'am, the moment he completes his point, I'll come back to you, but Tehseen Poonawalla, complete your point, sir.
So Charu can only reach to implying. That again shows how the BJP is not even read the manifesto and is indulging in half-truths. Now let's see what the thing is. I'm not at all surprised because, Gaurav, I said something on India Today the other day. It's gone very viral. I'll repeat it here. वो बात करेंगे ताज की, हम बात करेंगे आज की, वो बात करेंगे हिंदू मुसलमान की, हम बात करेंगे इंसान की, वो बात करेंगे पाकिस्तान की, हम बात करेंगे इंसान की, वो बात करेंगे घुसपैठियों की, हम बात करेंगे कोविड में लाशों की. They only want to talk about these issues because they have nothing to talk about, nothing at all. And I'm making a prediction before you give the floor to Abhijit. They've got in Machi, then they got in Pakistan. The next thing the Honorable Prime Minister is going to bring in is Dawood Ibrahim. Ye sab chodo, tell us why is unemployment so bad? Why are people leaving the country? Why are hundreds of Indians committing suicide? Why are people going to Russia to fight wars in Israel? You talk about these issues. You talk about a heart attack pandemic. You talk about a cancer pandemic. We are not interested in Pakistan. Fawad Chaudhry jaye bhaad mein, hame koi usse matlab nahi. Aap jao usse lado. Kya karna hai?
Abhijit Iyer Mitra, how do you read Fawad Hussain Chaudhry's statements and repeated comments? He may be former Information Minister of Pakistan, but does he really matter? How do you read what BJP is saying and what Congress is saying, sir?
Thanks, Gaurav. So first, let's be clear, Fawad Chaudhry is irrelevant, right? I mean, he's even when he was minister, he was something of a joker. He was a picked joker by the Pakistan army, more for entertainment value than anything else. That's not the issue. The issue is Rahul Gandhi seems to get the endorsement of a whole load of people whose endorsement you don't really want and who really are collectively a bunch of clowns. So it's not just Fawad Chaudhry, it's also people like that Bangladeshi journalist Ansari, a known BNP hack and a Muslim Brotherhood front, who's wanted on some kind of terrorism-related charges back in Bangladesh as well, who sits in the White House and keeps asking questions intended to show India in a bad light. And he has met Rahul Gandhi on several occasions and endorses him. Rahul Gandhi also gets the endorsement of magazines like The Economist, New York Times, and Washington Post, all of whom have been running an anti-India agenda. Now, I don't take any of them seriously. I don't think anybody takes them seriously. But the point is, why is Rahul Gandhi only getting endorsements from these kind of people? They are not the people who are going to vote for him. It's the people of India that are going to vote for him. He doesn't seem to get any high-level Indian endorsements. Why is it only low-level, B and C grade newspaper endorsements from abroad?
Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla, you want to quickly respond to that before I bring in Charu Pragya on what you said, Tehseen?
Yeah, that's a valid point Abhijit's made, and I think you can look at reaching out to better media or trying getting other media. That is a fair point to ask. But please understand, Gaurav, and for your viewers to understand, comparing a media, whether you call it B grade, C grade, versus a irrelevant burger like Fawad Chaudhry. Who's he? Who's even Nawaz Sharif? Who's even Shahbaz Sharif or even Benazir Bhutto's son, Bilawal Bhutto? They can say what they want. How do you know this Fawad Chaudhry chap didn't get money from the BJP to say this, thereby polarizing the election? Can they prove it? So who is he? Why is he talking in an election? And if he's talking in an election, why is the Prime Minister taking it seriously? It makes zero sense. The only reason it takes sense is because I would have been on Gaurav's show talking about the economy, but Prime Minister diverted to Pakistan. Who benefits from Pakistan? Only the BJP. It exactly shows it.
Abhijit has his finger up, but Abhijit, let me quickly bring in Charu into this conversation because Rahul Gandhi is called come again?
Just one quick point, Gaurav. Just one quick point before.
Okay, Abhijit.
See, the thing is, my friend Tehseen is making this mistake that Modi is taking Rahul seriously. He is not. If you actually listen to its tone, it's quite jovial and dismissive. It's like a class headmaster talking to a naughty student who constantly gets 1 out of 10 in the maths exam.
Okay, Charu, but Rahul Gandhi is saying that these statements by BJP leaders on Pakistan actually are a sign of BJP's desperation. You know, as Tehseen was pointing out, Hindu, Musalman, India, Pakistan, all aim to polarize the electorate, says Rahul Gandhi.
Now, I can have an entire 1 hour long conversation on polarization, Gaurav, but that is not the topic of the debate. We'll come to polarization in the next one, but tell me this. What is desperation? Desperation is Manishankar Iyer going to Pakistan and asking the people of Pakistan to support the Congress party. How does that help the Congress party? Please explain. What am I missing here? Why does the Congress party need the support of Pakistanis? Why does Digvijay Singh and Salman Khurshid say Pakistan is a better and a safer place than India is? Why is a terrorist like Hafiz Saeed asking for people to support Congress and be in all praises for Congress? I'll tell you why. Because Congress has a legacy of Pakistan love. पहले आप पाकिस्तान ले लो, उसके बाद आप कश्मीर ले लो, बलोचिस्तान को भी हमने आपके ऊपर छोड़ दिया, at your mercy, let people die, whatever happens. See, the question here is, why is an external person making a comment like that in favor of India's one of largest opposition parties? It has to be taken seriously. Okay, and like I said, if you read the manifesto carefully, it is point by point furthering the agenda of what our enemy states want. It is not the agenda of India. Tehseen can say whatever, but even he is aware when you talk about repealing anti-people laws, but you have zero idea what those anti-people laws are. That's worrisome for India. It is worrisome for 150 crore people living in India, and every single Congress spokesperson or supporter has no answer to that question. Tehseen is lighter than most of them. Why doesn't he tell me which is the anti-people law that Congress wants to repeal? Please
fair enough, Tehseen Poonawalla, quickly.
That's a good point.
Quickly.
That's a good point.
Why
That's a good point.
Which is the personal law that is going to make stronger in India? Isn't it the Muslim personal law? Or is there another personal law you intend to make stronger? Please explain. Isn't that appeasement and polarization?
Fair enough. Appeasement, polarization.
She made 2 points, but I wanted to
Congress is doing it. And also explain this allegation of Pakistan prem from Manishankar Iyer telling the Pakistanis, inhe hataiye, hame laiye, to the points that Charu Pragya was making.
So Charu's made 2 points, which are the anti-people law that the Congress wants to repeal. So I'm glad she's removed the Article 370 thing, because again, I said I'm involved in the manifesto. This is where you go to where jail, not bail, is the norm, which has been turned around. Actually, bail, not jail, is the norm. So where you are directly put into jail, because those are terrible for democracy, the legal jurisprudence. For personal laws, it is civil rights for our LGBTQ community, which has been very clearly stated that they must have their personal laws and a civil union, something the BJP cringes upon. But let me ask, so I hope that's clarified that. I'll tell you why Fawad Chaudhry is making this. I'm again repeating. Charu is right. Fawad Chaudhry, why is he interfering in our elections over anyone from Pakistan? Very simple, because friends of the BJP are paying them money. That's why they're doing that. Otherwise, why would they do it? They are such a bankrupt country. They don't have food to eat in their country. And they're here because BJP must be paying them money. So when 4th June, the government changes and Rahul Gandhi becomes Prime Minister, we'll investigate it and we'll come to know how this money went there, by which route it went there.
Fair enough. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, when the Prime Minister says Congress Pakistan ki mureed hai aur Pakistan is desperate to make Shehzada the Prime Minister, what's the impact of such statements, especially when the Prime Minister had said earlier dossiers were given to Pakistan, now action is taken, hum ghus ke marte hain?
Well, the impact is very simple, Gaurav. The Congress strategy has always been to portray Rahul as a sort of non-serious joke, really. The problem was, I think, over the last 2-3 days, Rahul was taking up this, he was almost beginning to sound serious, as in posing a serious threat to the BJP. I didn't think that was a very good election strategy, and I think the BJP has course-corrected. Course-corrected to such an extent that Gary Kasparov has in fact just tweeted in the last few minutes or so, saying, I'm holding this up right now, mocking Rahul Gandhi, saying, tradition dictates that you should first win from Rai Bareli before challenging for the top.
Okay.
He's responded to Sandeep Ghosh. So, the impact really is that Rahul Gandhi goes back to being Rahul Gandhi, and this belief that Rahul Gandhi is the is the political equivalent of Govinda, whereas Modi is the serious equivalent of the political equivalent of a serious hero.
Clearly.
Can I answer that?
Okay, quickly, sir. I have 30 seconds on the broadcast on this part. Go ahead.
Amol Palekar was a very serious hero, but Govinda gave more hits and more blockbusters and was more loved by the masses. Thank you, Abhijit, for that. But I love Amol Palekar. He comes from my city of Pune.
And we will know on the 4th of June who's the superstar in these elections. Of course, the most authentic, the most credible, the fastest and the best election analysis and the results right here on India Today with the best team. Charu, Pragya, Abhijit and Tehseen for joining me here on this India First special. Many thanks.